Yes. Okay, it's 9 o'clock. Welcome, welcome, welcome everybody to the Slight Edge. I'm extremely sorry about last night. Something came up and I just couldn't avoid it and I had to miss our session. But here we are today again in a beautiful journey of the Slight Edge. And let's, without further ado, read this beautiful book and take our lessons, what's coming our way in this magical book, which starts now. All right. The book is in front of you. Today, we're going to be starting our chapter number 3. And let's read this beautifully. Is time on your side? Time is free, but it's priceless. You can't own it, but you can use it. You can't keep it, but you can spend it. Once you've lost it, you can never get it back, says Harvey Mackay. So isn't this so beautiful? For all of us procrastinators out there, who keep thinking, pondering, and who shirk from taking action, the time is now. We can never hold on to time because time's nature is change, which is constant. It will keep changing. Every 1 second later, the second becomes old. And what is gone never comes back. But what is coming in front is so much more time. But that also depends upon us. Is it linear or is it in depth? So if something must be done, it must be done. So you walk a little today, get your heart rate up a bit. You lift a few weights, you eat a little differently. Then tomorrow morning, you wake up and look in the mirror and see the same old flubber. You have to be pretty well along the path to see any significant results. What keeps you doing this simple thing day after day? Willpower. It's like my dad, mom, teacher, boss, older brother, minister, self always told me, I just need more willpower. Really? I don't think so. A friend of mine used to say that people on diets who complain that they lack willpower are usually suffering more from a lack of won't power. Willpower is vastly overrated. For most people, willpower ends up looking, 1 second, please. Sorry for the gap. Do you want to, for most people, willpower ends up looking and feeling like some sort of grim self tyranny and involves creating an elaborate artificial reward and punishment system. Do you want to change? If so, I can show you how to tap into the most powerful force for change there is. Would you like to know what it is? Are you ready? Here it is. Time. Position your daily actions. So time is working for instead of against you. Because time will either promote you or expose you. What keeps me on the path is your slight edge philosophy, which includes your understanding of the secret of time. Knowing the secret of time, you say, if I stay on this road long enough, I'll get the result I seek. It's not a question of your mood or your feelings. And it's not a question of willpower. It's a question of simply knowing. When you enter a darkened room, why does your hand reach out for the light switch? Because you know that when you hit the switch, the light will go on. You don't have to give yourself positive self-talk about how you really ought to hit that light switch or set up a system of rewards and punishments for yourself around whether you follow through or not with hitting the light switch. You don't need any rigmarole. You just hit the switch. Why? Because you know what will happen. You know. It's the exact same thing here. You walk a little every day, lift a few weights, eat a little better, and leave the penny in the purse. Hit the light switch because you know it will make you healthy and wealthy. The light will turn on. instant life. If you were offered the same choice the wealthy man gave his sons, would you choose the $1 million or the penny? Most people would make the second boy's choice, the right now money, the quantum leap. After all, $1 million in cash right now. And of course, you'd be making the wrong choice. You will have been fooled as millions of people around the globe are fooled every minute of every hour of every day by those two seductive little words right now. I remember one day seeing a man standing in front of a microwave, fidgeting impatiently as he peered through the window at his lunch being cooked and muttering, "Come on, come on." It blew my mind. 60 seconds wasn't fast enough. It's become a truism to say we live in a push button, instant access, fast food kind of world where we want everything yesterday. This doesn't mean we have more impatient temperaments than our parents did. It represents an entirely different way of thinking, an entirely different philosophy. There is natural progression in life, which everyone knew intimately back in the days when we were on an agrarian society. You plant, then you cultivate, and finally you harvest. Plant, cultivate, harvest. In today's world, everyone wants to go directly from plant to harvest. We plant the seed by joining the gym and then get frustrated when a few days go by and there's no fitness harvest. Taking recreational drugs in an effort to go from plant directly to harvest. So is taking steroids to enhance athletic performance. So is robbing a bank. So is playing the lottery. The step we keep overlooking and overskipping is a step of cultivating, and that, unlike planting and harvesting, takes place only through the patient dimension of time. Because we are a culture raised on television and movies, we've lost track of time. We don't understand time anymore. I'm not criticizing televisions and films. Films is an amazing art form. Television is a powerful medium. And in the hands of true artists, they can both teach us valuable lessons about life, just not about time. Through a great film, you can experience the triumph of the human soul over adversity, the drama of a struggle between doing what's right and succumbing to the temptations of the world, a moving encounter between generations, the flowering of a powerful romance, the struggle and the birth of a nation. But it has all to be finished in 2 hours. Can you imagine a nation being born in 2 hours? Meeting the person who will become the love of your life, the dating, courtship, romance, struggle, triumph, wedding, and life thereafter in 2 hours? Of course not. We expect to put forth the effort of a short training sequence in a movie and get the same heroic ending. In a world filled with instant coffee, instant breakfast, instant credit, instant shopping, instant news, and instant information, we have come dangerously close to losing touch with reality and believing we have access to instant life. Where's the drama? It's not becoming aware of the slight edge will make these critical choices easier because they're already easy. And that, oddly enough, is a challenge of it. This is not about making tough choices. It's not about making easy choices consistently. The problem is making the wrong choices, the ones that will tilt the slight edge to lean against you instead of you in favor, are also easy choices. In a way, it would be a simpler matter if making the right choices were a big deal. If it were a dramatic, huge, difficult thing, why? Because then it would be obvious. You wouldn't need this book. The challenge is that making the right choices is not dramatic. When the hero makes the right choice in a movie, it's dramatic, all right. Problem is your life is not a movie, it's real life. Deciding whether or not to kill Darth Vader with your lightsaber is a dramatic choice. Deciding whether or not to fasten your seatbelt is an undramatic, boring, mundane little choice that nobody will ever witness. But guess which choice has the power to take a few 100,000 lives each year? It's not the lightsaber. Small things make a big difference. That's what they're trying to get to us. What might look undramatic and boring and mundane little choice, which people won't even see, that unseen choice is the reason why you will be successful in the near future. If making the right slight edge choices were a dramatic thing, you'd get immediate feedback. An entire movie theater audience applauding, cheering, or screaming. But that doesn't happen. And that's the big challenge of it. No immediate feedback. The right choices and the wrong choices you make at the moment will have little or no noticeable impact on how your day goes for you. Not tomorrow, not the next day, no applause, no cheers, no screams, no life or death results played out in Technicolor. But it is precisely those very same undramatic, seemingly insignificant actions that, when compounded over time, will dramatically affect how your life turns out. So, where's the drama? It comes at the end of the story when the credit starts to roll, which comes not in 2 hours but in 2 years, or depending on what slight edge and what particular story we're talking about, perhaps 12 years or 22. Making the right choice, taking the right actions, it's truly easy to do, ridiculously easy, but it's just as easy not to do. And if you don't do them, there won't be any big drama about it. It won't kill you. It won't hurt you. In fact, it doesn't make any difference at all. It won't make any difference at all. Not today, anyway. Not tomorrow. But over time, life always gives you simple choices. Simple disciplines, once followed, will only take your life's trajectory upwards. But choices that it's far too simple, kal kar lenge, simple errors in judgment, takes your life in a downward trajectory where there's no coming back from very easily. Not that you can't come back, you will, but with effort. The right choice you make today, compounded over time, will take you higher and higher up the success curve of this real time movie called your life. The wrong choices you make today, compounded over time, will absolutely, positively, and inevitably take you down and out. Either way, there will be dramatic results, just like in a movie. Unlike a movie, it will just take time before you see them. Jerry Sanchez of El Paso, Texas, understands fully that making the right choices daily can add up to good things. After reading The Slight Edge, I decided to apply it to business. My job, I didn't do anything drastic or make any major decisions in my life. I simply began to read 10 pages of a good book per day. I also started to think before I made a decision. I would ask myself, is this decision going to help me or hurt me? It was the day to day decisions that transformed everything in my life. After a year and a half of putting this in place, I got the position I always wanted at work and an increase of $12,000 a year. I had worked for the company 6 years before putting the principles of the slight edge in place. The greatest joy was when my boss called me into his office and said I had changed over the last 2 years. I told him that I didn't notice, and he told me that everyone else had. Making the choice to make the choice. For 21 years, the wealthy man gave his sons everything he had, including all his love, all his care, and a magnificent place to live. But when they turned 21, he gave them the most valuable gift of all. He gave them a choice. That most valuable gift is all of all is a gift that you always have. You always have a choice. No matter what you have done in your life up until today, no matter where you are and how far down you may have slid on the failure curve, you can start fresh, building a positive pattern of success at any time, including right now. But if you need to have faith in the process because you won't see it happening at first, if you base your choices on the evidence on what you can see, you're sunk. You need to base your choices on your philosophy, on what you know, not what you see. The slight edge is like Lady Justice, the famous blindfolded statue. The statue itself of the woman holding the scales and sword has been around since the day of ancient Rome. The blindfold was added in the 16th century. In the years leading up to that era, we call the Enlightenment, that gave birth to modern ideas of representative democracy and universal human rights. The blindfold is not meant to signify that justice is blind, as people sometimes assume, but that true justice is impervious to external influence. Isn't that a profound meaning which is beautiful? We call it the insaf ki devi in our country, right? And you say justice, कानून अंधा होता है, justice अंधा होता है. But no, the real justice is devoid to whatever outside world is showing. It's impervious. You can't enter it. It's beautiful. It will come out no matter what. That also makes it a very good representation of the slight edge. If you want to understand and apply the slight edge to create the life of your dreams, you can't make your choices based on the evidence of your eyes. You need to make them based on what you know, on your philosophy. Picture success and failure as the two sides of a pair of balance scales, like the one held by Lady Justice. Let's say you're in a tough place in your life. The scales are tipped badly, the negative side tilted way down. Whether it's your health, your finances, your marriage, your career, whatever it is. You've reached a place where many years of simple errors and judgment have compounded over time and you're feeling it. You're behind the 8 ball. It sure would be nice if somehow you could do something dramatic. If you just wake up tomorrow and have it all turned around, snap your fingers and change it. That might happen in a movie, but this is your life. What can you do? What happens if you add one small, simple, positive action to the success side? Nothing you can see. What happens if you add one more? Nothing you can see. What happens if you keep adding one more and one more and one more and one more? Before too long, you see the scales shift ever so slightly and then again. But eventually, that heavy failure side starts to lift and lift and lift, and the scales start swinging your way, no matter how much negative weight from the past is on the other side. Just by adding these little grams of success one at a time, and by not adding more weight to the failure side, you will eventually and inevitably begin to shift the scales in your favor. Way back in the beginning, when you add the first few morsels of positive action, if you judge your choices by the evidence of your eyes, you won't see the scales move at all, and that will frustrate you. It frustrates 19 out of 20 people, so much so they quit. And that is the saddest thing I can think of. Aren't we all quitters? We try something, we start something with passion, and then we say, result nahi aa raha yaar, it was not meant to be, mere liye nahi bana, and we just quit. Diet kare, diet mere liye yaar, I lost weight, but wo weight वापस आ गया, diet doesn't work for me. Why do we do that? It's so sad. Why not try to use the power of compounding effort? What is that? Let's all picture a huge, heavy flywheel, a massive metal disc mounted horizontally on an axle about 30 feet in diameter, 2 feet thick, and weighing about 5,000 pounds. Now imagine that your task is to get the flywheel rotating on the axle as fast and for as long as possible. Pushing with great effort, you get the flywheel to inch forward, moving almost imperceptibly at first. You keep pushing, and after 2 or 3 hours of persistent effort, you get the flywheel to complete one entire turn. You keep pushing, and the flywheel begins to move a bit faster, and with continued great effort, you move it through a second rotation. You keep pushing it in a consistent direction. 3 turns, 4, 5, 6. The flywheel builds up speed. 7, 8. You keep pushing. 9, 10. It builds momentum. 11, 12, moving faster with each turn, 20, 30, 50, 100. And at some point, breakthrough. The momentum of the thing kicks in your favor, hurling the flywheel forward, turn after turn, whoosh. Its own heavy weight working for you. You're pushing no harder than the first rotation, but the flywheel goes faster and faster and faster. Each turn on the flywheel builds upon work done earlier, compounding your investment of effort. Just see, it's only the effort 1,000 times faster than 10,000, then 100,000. The huge heavy disk file flies forward with almost an unstoppable momentum. Now, suppose someone came along and asked, what was the one big push that causes big thing to go so fast? You wouldn't be able to answer. It's a nonsensical question. What is the first push, the second, the fifth, the 100th? No, it was all of them added together in an overall accumulation of effort applied in a consistent direction. Some pushes may have been bigger than others, but any single heave, no matter how large, reflects a small fraction of the entire cumulative effect upon the flywheel. From good to great, why some companies make the leap and others don't, by Jim Collins. Successful people do whatever it takes to get the job done, whether or not they feel like it. So the next book, if you want to read after the Slight Edge, we will continue to read these books at night. We may take this nice, book. Can somebody please put this also on the group so that I can remember to try and find the PDF? Successful people do whatever it takes to get the job done, whether or not they feel like it. They understand that it is not any one single push on the flywheel, but the cumulative total of all their sequential, unfailingly consistent pushes that eventually creates movement of such astonishing momentum in their lives. Successful people form habits that feed their success instead of habits that feed their failure. They choose to have the slight edge working for them, not against them. They build their own dreams rather than spend their lives building other people's dreams. They achieve these dramatic results in their lives through making choices that are the very antithesis of drama, mundane, simple, seemingly insignificant choices. Every decision you make, it a slight edge decision. What you're going to do, how you're going to act, what you're going to read, who you're going to chat with on the phone, what you're going to eat for lunch, who you're going to associate with, how you're going to treat your fellow workers, what you're going to get done today. Simply by making these right decisions or making more of them one at a time over and over again, you will have enlisted the awesome power of the slight edge on your behalf. The unwanted circumstances, the poor results you produced in the past, and the evidence of failures in your life may all continue for a time. There may be no light at the end of the tunnel, or at least none you can see today. But by putting time on your side, you've marshaled the forces of the slight edge. Your success becomes inevitable. You just need to stay in the process long enough to give it a chance to win. It starts with a choice. Small steps make a big difference. Successful people, they are magnets. They know that they want to be successful, so they will create habits that will lead them to become successful. They don't become victims of habits which will lead to the downfall. So if we want to build our own dreams rather than work for somebody else's company and do a job somewhere else, then for this dramatic result in our life, we have to make the right choices. They may seem boring, placid, not interesting, too simple to believe, but They are the ones that give us a slight edge decision. Now, the slight edge decision is about every single thing that we do in a day. We have to just question ourselves, is this for the highest good? Is this going to help me? Or is this something which is just like, and then we will really find the right depth and meaning. All right. Time for a beautiful lotus of gratitude. Requesting everyone to bring their both hands in the form of two little buds. And now, after having made these buds, check your breath work. Align with the breath going in deeply through your abdomen, with a pause and going straight back up out of your nose. Once again, take a deep breath in. And a deeper breath out through your nose. And the last time for this evening, take a deep breath in and a deeper breath out. Life is magical. And today, I'm going to count 10 of my blessings and open these beautiful lotuses of gratitude. Now, without my saying and guiding, let's take 100 seconds at least and open the 10 buds. With each petal opening, let's be grateful for something that's happened in the last 24 hours. Actually, 48 hours for us because we haven't met yesterday. So take your time and be grateful for whatever 10 things didn't count. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now put your hands on your heart. Feel it beat. And see how expansive your soul has become. Your heart has become. You're creating so much more magic. Your energy field is laden with positivity, because gratitude is a multiplier. The more we are grateful for, the more we get reasons to be grateful for. What we give is what we get. It's a universal law. The more gratitude we give, the more reasons we get to be grateful for. Let's expand our gratitude and also bless the mankind and all sentient beings wherever they are. So take your hands near your heart and place them outwards as if you're blessing. We pray for the consciousness of sentient beings to rise for helping Mother Earth's ascension. We share the love and light we've had in our life with you, whoever is tuned into this high frequency. We're grateful for all that we learn and we imbibe in our life so easily, so effortlessly. And today, we are so grateful for the learnings and slight edge. We are so grateful for new beginnings. Some must have happened somewhere. And we're so grateful for the lessons we have learned, even though they may have come with some knocks and shocks of life. But the lessons to be learned. So anytime we falter, we have challenge and we have failure, or we have any disease, ask your masters, what is the lesson for me to be learned? And guide that through, either through yourself or somebody else. Use a regression and find it. Life is so magical. Life is so beautiful. And we are so grateful together to Jeff Olson for just writing this gorgeous book and sharing his wonderful knowledge with all of us. May we all have the slight edge in life. And so it is. With love, light, and blessings, I sign up today's session and knowing that tomorrow I'm going to see you in the gap exactly at 9 p.m. Same time, same place. So I really request everybody to sleep tight and have a good night. Thank you, thank you, thank you.